He's a force on social media, he's a truth in the air. Mike Crawford's the name, and he's everywhere. From the highs to the lows, he's got the word. His show called the Young Jurks, haven't you heard? The Young Jurks bringing heat to the mic. He's sharp, he's bold, he's always right. With the fire in his eyes and the truth in his veins, Mike Crawford's here to shake the game. Clickbait! He's not just talk, he's a force to be known. With the passion and drive that he's always shown. Cutting through the noise, making it clear. When Mike Crawford speaks, the people cheer. The Young Jurks bringing heat to the mic. He's sharp, he's bold, he's always right. With the fire in his eyes and the truth in his veins, Mike Crawford's here to shake the game. From the grind to the shine, he's stacking respect. Got his mind on the money, what you expect. In the game deep, like a boss with clout. Speak the truth loud, ain't no doubt.
Let's bring him up right
Jurks.
now.
Yeah, he runs these streets, dropping heavy bars over dirty beats, ain't no fake, nah. He's the real deal. Mike Crawford, man, he's keeping it real. Enemies lurk, but he stays on point. Mike Crawford, Young Jurks, he's taking the joint. So step up, listen close, this is how it goes. Mike Crawford, Young Jurks, running the shows. Ain't no stopping now, he's on that grind. Get with it, or get left behind. So tune in, get ready, it's about to ignite. The Young Jurks is here, and he's bringing the light. With every word, he's making his mark. Mike Crawford's name, it's the spark in the dark.
Exciting last night. Pretty crazy. I couldn't get in my studio last night. We got what you need tonight. Welcome, jerks. I've all smiled every time I play that. I can't believe John Como made that for me. So funny. I'm blushing every time I play that. I start blushing. I'm like, oh my God. Thank you so much, John Como. Thank you, everybody who's been supporting and sharing and watching our show and getting the word out. Young Jurks, you heard. Thank you, Jerks, too, for watching tonight. I want to thank our moderators. I see Stephanie and Miss Shorty there. I want to thank MJ as well and Jen. Thank you so much for moderating. And Street Squirrel, he just made us some new merchandise, some new T-shirts. The Young Jelly, you can check that out on our merch. We got some new Young Jelly stuff. And also Miss Shorty is working on a 3M's merchandise for us too. So lots is happening. I want to thank everyone who's been helping us and supporting us and getting the word out. And we have a great, fun show tonight. Not Karen Reed. We could get into Karen Reed tonight. Who knows? But I wanted to touch into this P. Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs. Or Combs. I don't know how do you say it. Sean Puffy. Let's call him Sean Puffy, P. Diddy. Bunch of allegations over and over and over again. I haven't liked P. Diddy Puffy for a long time, specifically because he doesn't pay his artists. And I caught on to this. I think a lot of people caught on to it with, what happened with the Locks. I actually didn't even follow them or know anything about them. And I used to book a lot of shows, music, bands in Boston. I probably booked about 100 shows in Boston. One of the biggest events I booked for a number of years was the Boston Freedom Rally, the Hemp Fest. It was something I did for free as a volunteer, and I made it pretty big during a certain point. And one night before the Freedom Rally, the night before, I got a call from the people with G Unit, guy named Mafia Mike. He's the funniest guy ever. He's also an artist. He has a different name. He calls me, and we worked all night to get Styles P to the Boston Freedom Rally, and Styles played for free. And I found out all about. I didn't even know who Styles was, but I realized when they called me what was going on, I wasn't going to say no to it. It was amazing, and I got to hang out with him for basically a day, just us and everybody else. But I was his point man, so obviously I looked up who this guy was and realized what was going on with Puff Daddy and P. Diddy, and how he treats his artists and how he doesn't pay them. And I watched over the years, and I just knew there was something off with this guy. a lot of rumors, a lot of allegations. Well, this year, it's all been coming out. And you can see there's a lot of smoke and fire now. And it could get a lot worse. And we have somebody who's been covering this who keeps up with this stuff. I figured let's talk about it. And we can also talk about Tupac and Keefe D because they're on trial. And I'm interested in all of this. So let's bring her up. She's also covered Karen Reed. She covers a lot of different true crime. She covers pop culture. She's a journalist. Her name's Lauren Conlin. You can find her on her YouTube at pop. Let me say that at Pop Crime TV. And she also has a show she does on Wednesdays at Prime Time Crime. That's also on YouTube. So check it out. She's also got a Twitter, Facebook. We'll be linking all that stuff up in the chat. Definitely check her out. Let's bring her up. Welcome to the show, Lauren Conlin.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How you doing tonight?
I'm just really happy to be here, and I'm ready to rip Diddy a new one, if you will.
I think this is the perfect place to do it because I'm
Why am I so
all
big?
about it. All about it.
Wait, why am I so big? Can we be equal? I feel weird.
Oh, you don't like that? Oh, see,
No,
we
I'm
put
just
the
kidding.
spotlight on the guest here a little more.
Oh,
If it makes you
okay.
uncomfortable, we can make it equal. I could definitely go equal. That's okay.
Whatever you want, whatever you usually do on your show, Mike. It's your show.
We go back and forth usually.
Okay.
If we're both talking,
Okay,
we
sounds
do
good.
equal. Yeah. But usually right in the beginning, we try to focus on the guest a little more.
Ooh, okay. Well, that sounds great.
And plus, I don't like to look at myself. I'm very shy.
You are so not shy. Come on.
I
Are you
am. I
kidding?
know I'm getting better at it, but like,
Is that why you have a big beard? Because you don't want us to see your
yeah, that's
full
why I had the
face?
hat on and even back in the day, like when we used to do internet radio, right? And
Mhm.
then the internet station put a camera in front of us. Well, I would put the microphone in front of me, so like you couldn't see me.
Oh
Like
my
I
gosh.
was like,
You're
they were
funny.
like, "We gotta move the microphone." I'm like, "No, no."
You're so funny. Oh my gosh. Well, I want to see your face, Mike. So
Well, I feel better now. I told people too. I got the new implants, so now I'm a little less self conscious. But we're not here about me. We're here about what? Tell us about yourself first of all. You're at Crime TV. What's that about? You got a
so
YouTube. What kind of stuff do you do?
yeah. So normally I'm based out of Manhattan, New York. Right now I'm actually in New Hampshire. I'm your neighbor right now. I'm at my parents' house. But I started out as an entertainment reporter. I was producing for this reporter in New York, George Whipple. If you've heard of him, he's got these big bushy eyebrows. Uh, and then I wasn't super satisfied, I guess, kissing the asses of actors and celebrities, being like, "Oh, your movie's so good. Was it so fun to make? It looks so fun to make." It started. It just was getting to me, and you're doing this grueling work on the red carpet and nobody wants to talk to you anyway. That's the thing. You're there to promote their movies and they're not really that nice to you. So I've always been very interested in reporting on crime. And so after the pandemic, I did a year at a radio station. I worked at WABC radio. I was doing the news there and I did entertainment. I was on the morning show, Bernie and Sid. And then after that, I kind of just decided to freelance and kind of do what I want. And it's been great because I've been able to cover crime on my podcast, The Outlier. And that's now it's on YouTube as well. I actually just started doing YouTube. I literally don't understand it. I'm sorry to say, like, I feel like my channel's pathetic. You have to help me. I don't know what to do. I mean, so I've just started to make these like 5-minute videos, about crime and about celebrity crime because let's be honest, like nobody cares about a celebrity unless they get arrested. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But I did cover Karen Reed because I do cover just just straight crime, I guess. I'm on Nancy Grace probably once a week, sometimes twice a week. And yeah, I actually went to the courthouse for Nancy for her show. And the whole experience for me covering Karen Reed was just bonkers. And I still try to cover it. I just try to stay out of the, what, I don't know what you want to call it, the vitriol, the I don't know, the insane whatever. Yeah, it's
Did you get
stressing
any of
out.
that? Let me ask you, because I think I saw some people attacking you. You got attacked too, didn't you?
Yeah, I got attacked like nothing I've ever seen in my entire life, and I have pretty thick skin because I'm used to it. I'm not for everybody. I'm not this cookie cutter reporter. I think that the most unoriginal thing people say about me, it's just so silly. They're like, "Oh, she's such a valley girl. She talks like," and I'm like, that's what you got. That's literally all you got. So, I'm used to it. But for this, I came into the whole Karen Reed case with an open mind, and I was asking questions and I didn't understand certain things. And then I kind of made up my mind, well, I'm not really convinced that she was hit by a car, but the whole conspiracy, that's hard for me to swallow too. So I'm kind of in this place where I'm trying to figure out what happened myself based on all this evidence. But then the trial started and I was done. I was like, the state has no case. That's sort of how I felt for a majority of the trial. And yeah, I got dragged. I mean, they would find pictures of me when I was a bit, like, I don't know, I took prednisone for this health issue when I looked a bit fuller, let's say, and they were putting pictures of, right, that you have to like dig on the internet.
Oh,
Like,
it's unbelievable. I
yeah,
was telling people recently, they put up, I didn't even know what they had put up. It was so funny because I saw it, like they only put like a piece of it, and I
yeah.
didn't realize what it was. 1972. It was my parents' divorce. They looked up my parents' divorce. I mean, that is
No.
how crazy are these people?
I mean, and the thing is, like, a man is dead. A police officer is dead. And everybody wants the same thing. They want to find out what happened and they want justice. This is not normal. I don't know how else to put it. Like, digging up your parents' divorce from the 70s and finding a fat picture of me, that's not normal. I mean, that's
No.
that's really not. And I don't really get the hate. I mean, there's people that obviously get, I guess I kind of stay out of things, so maybe I'm not a target anymore, but thank God.
Well, there's so many other targets now. That's the
Yeah.
good thing. There's so
Yeah.
many people that they good luck attacking all the people now who support Karen Reed being innocent after that trial, because it just
Yeah.
got exponential larger and
Mhm.
larger and just going to continue to. So it's
Yeah.
true.
I
You
mean,
know,
Mike, I can't imagine doing this again though. Like, if this actually happens, I'm like,
yeah,
"Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine."
I know. I know.
Yeah.
I might not. I mean, I think there's a good chance Attorney Betterow doesn't think it's going to go to trial again.
Really? I mean, I personally think if Lally was smart, he would drop the 2 charges himself,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
not wait for Bev. He would just say, "Okay," because look, he's the one that put forth, "Hey, the jury came to me and said they were 9-3 guilty on manslaughter." Well, babe, if you want a guilty verdict, I mean, there you go. There's your guilty verdict, you idiot. I'm sorry. Like, that's just, it's crazy that he hasn't done that yet. And part of me thinks maybe, the prosecution technically works for the state, they work for the county. So maybe, he's going off of, the O'Keefes. He's saying, the O'Keefes don't want me to do that, so I'm not going to do that. But ultimately, and unfortunately, it's not up to the O'Keefes, it's up to him, and it's his job to get the conviction. I just don't think he's using his head. But I'm also not a lawyer. I don't pretend to know everything.
Yeah. It's before I would definitely want to get to the P. Diddy stuff and Tupac and all that stuff. But one
Yeah.
thing you said earlier about like YouTube versus other things, I have no idea what we're doing. I really don't. I don't even know like how it happened this year for us, except we just kept doing content. I think that's the big thing, whether
Okay.
it's Facebook or Instagram, you just pick one or two and you just keep doing the content. And that's the key,
Yeah.
I think, is just but whatever one you want, you know what I
I'm
mean? I think
trying. I'm
yeah.
doing all of it. Like I said, I feel like I
Like
can
I
never
feel like a
catch up.
failure on my Instagram and because my TikTok, because I don't do them. Like I end up
Yeah, your
not.
Instagram is not good. I will
Yeah.
say you are failing at that.
Yeah. See? So
No.
it's because I don't focus on that one. I focus on YouTube, Twitter, and a little
Yeah.
Facebook. It's like,
Instagram doesn't matter. Instagram
yeah,
sucks for me
it's
anyway.
just whatever you focus on. I think one of the things we all try to do is try to do too many of them. It's like,
Yes, I could not agree more because there are so many of them. I just joined Discord. I'm like, I'm so
yeah.
confused at everything.
I'm on Twitch. I never look at it. Where we usually have like one person watching us on Twitch. Uh,
uh,
Nobody
okay.
on Twitch tonight.
Yeah, I don't do Twitch yet. I'm not
I
there
don't
yet.
even go on there. It goes live there too. But
Yeah.
another thing I like about what you were saying too, I think this is advice for everybody out there. In the old days, we needed producers, we needed sponsors, we needed editors, we needed
Yeah.
newspapers, we needed radio stations. Now anyone can do it, which is great. It's awesome, but everyone tries to do it, and a lot of times it doesn't work for them because they don't have any experience. They don't have any life experience. They don't have any working within. Like, you went out there and you worked at a radio station, a morning show, which is huge,
Hmm.
and you worked with this other thing doing the celebrity stuff, and you figured out what you want to do. And I think for young people, what we should all, and especially like me, this is why I'm so happy now. I don't need anybody. I could just do this show now. I don't need a producer. It's like such an amazing opportunity we have, but it's about the
Yeah.
content too. Like, so I think you're going to be great. I'm so happy that you kind
Thank
of are doing this stuff. Like,
Well, I mean, talk to me in a few months. I'll let you know. There's nothing more frustrating than putting together a video and getting 13 views. Okay, Mike. So I'm not
I've been
sitting here
there. I've
pretending that
been
I have
there.
this. Yeah, I know. And the thing is, I had this channel. I just recently updated it. I had it. I think I started in 2010, where I was updating, and you'll see on my channel, I have like a million old interviews when I used to do Fox News and when I, was on the red carpet with these celebrities, and they've got a good amount of views, but I just let it sit dormant. I just would upload every 6 months or so. And now I have actually got like a theme here that I'm trying to push forth. So, yeah, I feel like this is boring though. I feel like nobody wants to hear about my failures on YouTube.
No, I think it's good for creators. I think there's a lot of people
Okay.
out there starting shows. I see people starting shows all the time. And it's
Yeah, and I do want to point out though, with the investigative reporting, like I didn't have any training on this. I'm strictly I did sort of teach myself, and I gathered some skills from the radio station, and I did, I had a stint at Fox and CBS in college and everything, but this is definitely it's new for me, but I really, really love it.
awesome. So let's talk about P. Diddy. Puffy Combs, Sean Combs,
Yes.
Combs, right? Combs. I'm saying Combs, Sean
Oh, yeah,
Combs.
I don't know where you got that from, but yes.
No. I'm like verbally dyslexic or something. I've just come some kind of speech impediments, but now I host a show, so you can do anything.
No, you sound great to me, except for when you say Coombs. No,
Yeah,
I'm
Combs,
kidding.
Combs,
Yeah,
Combs.
I think that so if I had to speculate, I would say pretty much any day now we're looking for him to get arrested and charged. I personally believe that a grand jury, is going to indict him based on the 10 lawsuits. It's being advertised as the ninth lawsuit that came out about 2 days ago, but it's the 10th. And the circumstances around this lawsuit are really interesting. Adria English, they're calling her this former adult film star. Well, she really did 8 adult films when she was a teenager, unfortunately. And she, didn't have the best childhood. So she kind of ran away. She was coerced into this. And they kind of told her, hey, if you do these movies, they're not going to be seen in the US. They're going to be seen overseas. So don't worry about it. Well, unfortunately, they were seen in the US. She wasn't thrilled. But she moved on with her life, and she met this guy. She's dating this guy, and he wants to be a model. They go to a Sean John casting call. He comes out and allegedly, and I guess I have to say allegedly, but they said to him, you have to give Diddy fellatio and you will get this job. And he's like, nah, man, no thanks. And I guess after the fact, they're out there waiting or whatever in a green room, who knows. Somebody comes out, one of Diddy's associates comes out, and they basically say, okay, you to Adria, if you come work for us, we'll give your boyfriend a chance. So this is when she decides to go and work at the white party. And the first experience she had was pretty good. She made thousands of dollars. You know, they took her out from Manhattan to the Hamptons in a nice, Escalade, whatever. And then they got wind of her past. And so they brought her out again. And this is when he started passing her around to his friends, threatening her and threatening her boyfriend's modeling job. And she essentially said she felt like she had to do this because of, the way he was threatening her and the way that he was threatening her boyfriend. So she was kind of thrown into this life. And there's a bunch of other people named in this suit: Bad Boy Enterprises, Vibe magazine, because Vibe took her likeness and put it in the magazine, trying to say, this is the party you want to be at. And like, her butt's out, and she just, she wasn't thrilled about that. And, there's something really confusing, I guess, about this lawsuit. She names someone that she claims is Diddy's Ghislaine. Okay. So she
Diddy's
says
what?
Ghislaine, like Diddy's Jeffrey Epstein's Ghislaine. Okay.
Oh.
She says, Adria says, okay, he has one, and her name is Tamika Thomas. Well, I did some digging on Tamika Thomas because I'm like, this is bad. This Tamika Thomas apparently worked for Bad Boy Enterprises and would get the trust of these girls, traffic them to all of Diddy's associates. Well, the Tamika Thomas there's a photograph of her in this lawsuit. It's not the same one. It's not the girl that she's speaking about. So this Tamika Thomas came out and was like, okay, I should not be a part of this lawsuit. That's not even me in the picture. Additionally, she's claiming Adria English DM'd her in April and said, hey, do you want to be a part of this lawsuit? And we can sue Diddy together. And Tamiko never responded to her. So she's kind of saying she is doing this, sort of retaliating against me. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But in my opinion, if that's true and she has the wrong girl here, that's going to look pretty bad on the lawsuit. However, there's something really interesting that she says, which is the fact that Diddy has cameras in every single room of his mansions. So he was recording these illicit activities with alleged minors. And this is what Homeland Security seized during the raids. So this could be huge. If what she says is true, that could be huge for the trafficking case that they're building up against him. So, and that's a federal case that they're trying to build. But that was just the most recent lawsuit from a few days ago.
Now the camera stuff, it's just wild. It's absolutely wild. There's so many rumors about people even like above Diddy. Let's just put it that way. Like when you said that, Ghislaine Maxwell, the assistant, that makes sense. But there's a lot of people who talked about Epstein, who was above him, who was the guy with the money behind him, which there's a guy out there.
Well,
and I'm not going to say his name because, people could figure it out. But I think the same thing with P. Diddy. Like there's been a rumor that he got groomed by the guy from Uptown Records and the other guy who's the real money. And then the money guy there's that rumor too. And that hasn't been proven either. But if that stuff is real, let's just pretend it's real.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's not like fact based, but there's been a lot of smoke and fire about all this stuff for a long time. And now we're starting to see stuff that was smoking, like, rumors about the cameras. And now we're like, the cameras are real. So like, to me, this could all be real. If that's the case, let's pretend this is much bigger than just P. Diddy. Do you think maybe he gets away with it because of that? Or do you think they try to silence him type deal? Like, where do you see this going?
No, he's going to get arrested. It's happening. I mean, you can't have 10 lawsuits all alleging the same thing and not have any cause to arrest this guy. And I think that, like I said, they are building this airtight case against him. I think that Diddy, and I'm not a doctor, but I do think he has sociopathic tendencies where there, certain serial killers, they like to look back on their work or their, whatever. That's where these cameras come in.
Yeah, the videos.
What's that?
The videos. Yeah, the videos.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, there was that one of the producers who talked about Diddy showing him some of those videos, saying like, "Look what we did to this one and that
yeah.
one." And one of the rappers is on Twitter and all kinds
Oh,
of drama around that one. It's just like and people pulling out videos. It's just like this
yeah.
stuff is crazy. It's like it's endless
I
between
mean,
this. Go ahead.
there's he has an associate, Aaron Hall, who's a co-defendant on one of the lawsuits. Aaron Hall, if you look at any of his past interviews on YouTube, they're disgusting. What he talks about doing to women when they're unconscious and when they're if he was smart, he would remove those. But like last I checked, they were still up there. I mean, it's so crazy. I think that for me, I don't think enough people, and I don't blame them because they're not sick in the head, I guess, or whatever. But I don't think enough people read Cassie's lawsuit. I think if more people read her lawsuit from November of 2023 all the way through, in addition to seeing the video that came out in May.
Let's talk about that video.
Yeah, with him beating it. Well, so let me give you context around that, Mike. What happened and what she was running from. So, and if people in the chat, please like jump in and add to this. But in her initial lawsuit, she discussed something called a freak off that Diddy would make her do. And he called these FOs. And at one point, well, let me go. So a freak off was when he would force her to engage in sexual acts with prostitutes, men and women, himself. He would film it. He would, can I jerk off? Can I say that? Is that okay? Like, okay, sorry.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I
guess.
just mean how clean do you want me to keep this?
I know it's hard on this one.
Yeah, so he would do these things and sometimes he would be in such a state, and again, this is all in her lawsuit, that he would just beat the crap out of her while she was engaged in these acts. So Cassie, when she would get ready for these, she hated them so much, as you can imagine, she would get physically ill, Mike. She would be over the toilet, vomiting, and she had to take so many drugs and drink so much at a certain point because one night it was her birthday. Okay, he wanted to show her friends the power he had over her, so he's yanking her up from a birthday dinner and he's like, "Let's go, we're doing an FO." And she's like, "What? No, not now." And her friends who kind of knew about it were like, "What? No." And this night that he did this, sorry, I'm jumping around, he allegedly held her friend over the balcony of a hotel and was like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." So anyway, so back to the night that he beat the crap out of her, he had just forced her to do a freak off where he punched her in the face. He was drunk. He passed out drunk. And this is when Cassie was like, "Great, I'm going to make a run for it. Let's go." So she leaves. She's got her hood on. And I mean, I get chills talking about it, Mike. That was like something out of a horror movie.
It was.
To watch that, I don't want to curse too much, but to watch that sicko running down the hall in a towel, okay, yank her by the hair and then kick her and beat her and then throw glass vases at her. I mean, that was in the hotel hallway.
Now, imagine that. Think about that too. That's what's like really how sick it is. Like how invincible he thinks he is. That he would do that in public. In public.
Mm-hmm. In public.
He knows that he got to know there's a video thing going.
Yeah. So after this, she's a wreck, right? Like her face is messed up, and you'll understand a lot more of her. She's had to go through so much healing, like rehab. I mean, because of what he did to her. She didn't even, she barely drank before she met him, but her face was so beat and gross that she was like at his mansion and he was somewhere else and he made her stay there to sort of heal, I guess. But one of his kids was there and he called her and he's like, "You have to put makeup on. My kids can't see you like that." And so she did. I mean, this was her life, and her life was, you really feel for her. I'm not even scratching the surface, but there's allegations in there that you're like, wait, and you put it together. he blew up Kid Cudi's car when they were emailing and
Yeah.
texting, Cassie. I mean, and that wasn't reported anywhere. Kid Cudi was freaked out. I mean, it's just endless, you know?
Yeah, so she had some kind of romantic thing with Kid Cudi, and Puff Daddy threatened him, didn't he?
He threatened him. I don't know how romantic they were.
Yep.
I know they were collaborating on a song. She was romantic with this actor in South Africa during one of the Step Up movies that she did. I forget which one, but Diddy called this actor. And by the way, like if you see this actor, he's like a little blonde Zac Efron via 2010. You know, you're just like this poor kid's probably like you know,
Scared.
it's. I mean, Diddy's a sick man, and April Lampros, who was the eighth accuser, she did all of us a solid here, and she let us know that Diddy's you know what, is really small. So, yep. I was really happy she got petty like that. I love that kind of petty. When it comes down to it, and we're talking about alleged rapist, I'm kind of like, yeah, get petty. I'm here
That's
for
not
it.
surprising to hear about.
Yeah. Yep. Mhm.
There's something not right about this guy. There's a lot of videos out there. One of the ones
Yeah.
that people look at a lot is this is again where we get into the speculation area. But I just wondering if you've seen anything come up, if you think anything will ever come up with Justin Bieber, because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
some really creepy friggin' videos with Diddy with
Yeah.
Justin as a kid, and it's really kind of disturbing to think what might have happened there, and to think like Justin actually seems like a good guy now. Like I think he had some issues in his younger years, and gee, I wonder why.
Just gonna say that. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That is really disturbing. And Usher, I think Usher gave this interview basically saying that he and Bieber both went through this like Diddy camp when they were trying to be these up and coming hip hop stars. And I believe that the interviewer asked Usher, "Would you let your kids do this?" And he was like,
No,
literally never. And yeah, Justin Bieber, I feel like he's going through a time in his life where he probably doesn't want to discuss this or have this come out. I know he's expecting a baby, and it's like yeah. So, but I feel like one of these days he's going to do a tell all, and we're all going to feel like crap if we ever said anything negative about him or whatever. But yeah, I feel like Justin Bieber is very fragile, and I feel for him. I really do.
yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he ever will.
You don't think so?
No, and I wish he would because I feel like
Yeah.
the ones that repress it, and I think there's also a security thing because
Mhm.
I think this guy Diddy acts like, what we used to refer to as Whitey Bulger in Boston. Like people are
Yeah.
afraid of with their lives to speak out against him. So I think there's
Mhm.
also a safety issue there. But I just feel like he's one of these guys like myself, where I would probably be the same way. Like you don't want to share that stuff with the public. But
I get
I
it.
think if he doesn't, it's gonna harm him. I mean, what do you think on that about Bieber, if
Yeah.
there is something to it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe when Diddy is behind bars or when I do feel strongly that he will get charged and he will be convicted of something. I really do believe that. So maybe that will give him I guess the courage or maybe the closure even that he can come forward and say what happened to him and maybe others as well because there are so many rumors out there. I mean, Kim Porter, his the mother of his children, Kim Porter died when she was 48 years old of pneumonia. I mean, that's a little sketchy to me. And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. It came out of nowhere. She didn't have any other health issues. And, her best friend, Kimora Lee Simmons, after Cassie's lawsuit went public, Kimora Lee Simmons spoke out on her Instagram story. And a few days later, her house was set on fire with her and her kids inside. They were fine. It's just strange. It's like, and I'm not saying that Diddy had anything to do with it. I'm just saying, look at the circumstances, look at the timing, and
It sure seems like it.
yeah,
I mean, you talk about that Kim Porter. Kim Porter was going to put a book out about P Diddy.
Yes, and Kim Porter, here's the thing. Kim Porter is also named in some of these lawsuits as having to engage in certain activities with these women. April Lampros specifically, but April Lampros goes in and kind of says, Kim Porter wasn't that great either. She tried to get me fired from my waitressing job because of, XYZ, this relationship with Diddy. And so it's tough. I mean, I guess I wish I knew the truth in all this. And when I say it just goes bigger and deeper, I mean, talk about weird. Suge Knight's podcast, Call Collect from Prison. He just alleged that Ben Affleck divorced J-Lo because Homeland Security found some crazy tapes from the early 2000s and they called in J-Lo. And Ben's like, what the hell is this? And they're like, oh, look what your wife was involved in, And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, again, this is coming from Suge Knight, but still, it could have some truth to it.
Suge, I think sometimes I love Suge. I gotta say, like, I do like him. I think sometimes he's like, he speaks in riddles, and I think speculates sometimes.
He's a murderer.
Yeah, well, I don't know. And that whole thing with him, I think it might have been self-defense. I hate to say it, like, because
wait, him backing into a
because those guys looked like they were coming at him with knives or guns, like, and it's the whole thing seemed like a setup. If you look at it, not the guy, I don't even think one of the people that I think he killed was actually his friend. He actually was friendly with that guy. It was the other one.
Yeah, I don't know how friendly they were, but I think that was strategic. I think he's scary as hell. I definitely
I think he's had his moments. I think definitely. Yeah. I believe what Vanilla Ice said about him.
Wait, I don't remember. What did Vanilla Ice say?
He hung him by his ankles over a balcony for some rights on a song.
Yep, that's right. I mean, no, I believe it. I think I wrote an article about him. I have to find it, but I did write all these moments, and I remember writing about that one. But yeah, I mean, if you want to segue this into Tupac, we can, because after these allegations came out that Diddy paid $1 million to get this hit out on Tupac, Tupac's family hired Alex Spiro, which was Alec Baldwin's lawyer, who got him. That whole trial was just, everything was dismissed, so he did a pretty good job there, I'd say. But yeah, after Tupac was killed, Diddy called Tupac's brother, and this is maybe on Vlad TV, and he called Tupac's brother, and he's like, "Yo, man, I'm really sorry, but I just want to let you know I had nothing to do with it." And his brother's like, "Okay, I didn't really ask, but like, thanks for clearing your name so early on." But yeah, these claims are interesting because the Clark County Sheriff's Office, Las Vegas police, they're saying Diddy's never been a suspect. He's never been a suspect, but a lot of these interviews and these records were sealed for a really long time. So I do think during Keefe D's trial in November, a lot of this might come out. And recently it was revealed, and there was a lot going on with Keefe D in that trial, but the newest piece of information that just came out was that the LAPD and these ex-Compton cops, or I guess ex-LAPD, they're all working together because they have these old testimonies and witness interviews from Biggie's murder, which they interviewed the same people, and they're getting their testimony saying, "Oh no, we actually know what happened to Tupac. We don't know what happened to Biggie, but we know what happened to Tupac." And they're going to whip this out of the trial. So I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting, because everybody in that car, in the white Cadillac, as you know, except for Keefe D, they're all dead. So they are saying that they have testimony from Big Dre, which is DeAndre Smith, because DeAndre, at first, if you recall, he was accused of pulling the trigger. And DeAndre was like, whoa, 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 it wasn't me. We don't really know who we implicated. I mean, we know that Keefe D said it was him. He was the shot caller, and Orlando Anderson pulled the trigger. But yeah, I mean,
what do you think about this? Because forever, I thought, I've gone down every conspiracy wormhole on Tupac. I really felt like these LAPD might have been involved in it, and especially like the Reggie Wright Jr. and all those people. But it's weird because this guy basically admitted he did it, but did he just do that for the money? Like what?
And
Like
the clout.
yeah, like do you think they're gonna actually really prove that he did it? Did he do it? Like how's this gonna turn out? What's his defense gonna be? What's happening in this trial? What do you think?
Well, what's happening now, and just going back to Diddy, I think multiple things can be true at once, Mike. So Keefe D, when he acted as a proffer in 2008 or 2009, and he was helping. I mean, his record is longer than my CVS receipt, like it's ridiculous. So he kind of had no choice. He had a drug charge. They're like, look, you're going to help us, but everything you say stays here. You're a proffer. So this is when he told them about Diddy. So he says, we're at a party in Compton, and Diddy says, I want Suge's head. I want Tupac's head. And Keefe D's there. Eric Zip Martin's there. Eric Zip Martin died in 2012. And they say, great, no problem. We got this. And Diddy says, I'll pay $1 million. So when this came out in the most recent court hearing, Keefe D freaks out in court. He's like, you broke the proffer agreement. He's screaming. He's interrupting the judge. And he's so upset. And you're like, honey, a proffer agreement goes both ways. You have to shut the fuck up too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to be quiet too. And all he's done for the
Let's
last
talk.
10 years is run his mouth and say, oh, it was me. I was the shot caller, XYZ. And now he's backpedaling, saying, nope, I just did that for clout.
I just did it for money. They just because they
sell-
were paying me the big bucks. Yeah.
Right. So his defense is, well, you can't put me in Vegas. You can't prove it, which, as we know, Mike, the truth technically doesn't matter. In court, it just matters what you can prove. Well, prosecutors have been working extra hard. They found hotel receipts from Keefe D's wife, Paula Clemens, putting them in Vegas on September 7th. This is big because there's no computers. They've got like a raw stack of papers here. They also found hotel receipts for Orlando Anderson, his nephew, September 7th. So you've got this MGM video, with the fight, the night of the Tyson fight, which is like, it's grainy. Keefe D's not in that video. He's not really on any video, but now you have the hotel receipts, which is good. So now he's in court and they're getting much closer to proving that he was in Vegas. So when I say multiple things can be true at once, where maybe Diddy said this and he wanted it done, I don't think gang killings or murders are kind of like mafia murders. And I know I sound really stupid coming from like a white girl in the suburbs right now, but I think that because that this fight broke out because of the medallion, the death row medallion, Diddy had bounties on these medallions, grab them from anyone on death row. Because this fight broke out, I think that gave them the perfect opportunity to kill Tupac and kill Suge. That was it for them. I don't think it was crazy planned. I think it was planted, most likely by Diddy, if that's true. And then they had an opportunity. So I don't think it's going to be an open and shut case in court. That was a long answer. I'm very sorry, but
no, it's a good answer.
Yeah.
And I think you brought some really relevant points, which is why I think it's going to be really hard for them to convict, but they might, because like you said, they got all those times he got on those. I think it's going to come down to, does the jury believe that Keefe D was telling the truth when he was on Vlad TV and all those other shows that he was on saying he did it?
And his book, okay?
Yeah, in his book. So I think that's what it's going to come down to, because they don't have any witnesses. All those other people are dead. Zip is dead.
Yeah.
Those the guys in the car are dead. Tupac's dead. Like, they're all dead. It's like even one of the main outlaws who was supposedly the best witness is dead. This is what's weird about a lot of Tupac's bodyguards dead. That's what's really. I just still don't. It's funny because we talked about Tupac's family. One of his brother said that he thought the police did it. And I wonder where they're going to end up on this, because I think they're watching. I think that they want justice, but they still don't trust the police. And it's just going to be interesting to see where they go on this.
I don't think it's true at all. I do wonder about the women in the car that, Suge and Tupac pulled up next to these women and they said, "Hey, come to my club, Club 662." And these women are like, "Yeah, definitely." And then, they pulled up next to the next stoplight, and that's when he was shot. I have not heard anything about these women, so I should do some digging on that. I don't know why I
They
haven't done, but
disappeared. No one ever saw him again.
yeah, right, right. I'm just, God, it's like, where are
Like, do you
they?
know, like, there's been a couple of movies that came out. There was this, what was it called? Tupac Assassination or whatever. There was a few of them.
Never saw
And
it.
like one of the one of the documentaries, this really interesting fact is that the reason Tupac was going to that club that night is to do a fundraiser because of one of his past, like, incidents he got into. And it was for like a police fundraiser. So like that 662 was a police event, and that's why the bodyguards, Tupac's bodyguards, are told to leave their guns behind
Okay.
because the
Wow.
police didn't
I didn't
want
know
any of
that.
them to have guns. So like that's why I always just like it's so weird that they knew. It's like whoever was, I don't know. I don't know. I still don't know.
Wow.
It's still
Well, I mean,
that's why we need a trial. We need to see what
yes.
actually evidence the government actually has. And
Yeah, I mean, I think that's crazy. They think police did it. Police have been working really hard to solve this. I mean, they've been working super hard for the last couple decades,
I
and
don't know. I mean, a lot of the main players, like the Outlaws, said the police never talked to them.
I mean,
But
yeah,
there's other interviews of the police saying we did talk to them, they wouldn't talk to us. So it's like
exactly.
it's really this is what's so confusing about this stuff is like I don't think it really got enough real journalists investigating it. So that's why
Yeah,
we're talking about it tonight, right?
I mean, we are. And here's the thing, like, I don't, I mean, come on, if you're watching the YSL trial, these guys, they don't want to talk to cops. So if they're sitting there saying, like, yeah, I mean, they probably blocked it out. Okay. They probably blocked out that entire interview or when they were interviewed. But yeah, I don't necessarily buy that at all. But who knows? Who knows? Anything is possible, right?
I mean, Tupac, if you look at his history, he was highly controversial. He shot two cops too, right?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Yeah.
he was a Black Panther who didn't like, and he had some issues too, like in New York. So I mean, a lot of times I think law enforcement does label people for being, you know,
Yeah.
criminal
Sorry.
element, let's put it that way.
I was looking at somebody in your chat. I'm so sorry. I have to read this. Diddy said Kevin Albert was behind it. Bang, bang, take that. Take that. I can't. Sorry. Sorry. I can't.
Maybe.
Sorry. Do you know that I say this to my husband, and again, he wants to kill me because he obviously is like, I don't care about the Karen Reed trial. But every time I'm waiting for something, I'm like, well, and he's like, what? I'm like, wait, do you not even get that? The Higgins text?
I
Okay,
do.
please
I
tell me you
do.
get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when Higgins got ghosted.
Well, I'm just like,
Oh well.
oh, you have no game. You have no game. Oh
None.
my
He
God.
was very upset.
Very upset.
And
The
all
dog
that
got
stuff, like
caught.
I try to you talked about like blanket. I try to blank that Higgins stuff out because it reminded me of my 15-year-old self. Like seriously, thank God we didn't have cell phones and Facebook back then. Jesus, we'd be
Right,
like
I know.
waiting by the family phone.
Yep. Yep. That's, oh yeah, totally. Or if your dad was online, you're like, get
Oh,
up. I'm waiting for a call.
that's what I was like. I can't deal with this Higgins stuff. Like listening to it, I was just like, this is so
Yeah.
pathetic.
Well, I'm kind of glad I got to hear that because I use it all the time. So I also, sorry, not to digress, but I also say pull up bitch a lot.
That's a good one.
Like
Yeah.
the pull up bitch is just, how do you not say it? It's so catchy. Sorry. It's terrible.
I don't. I say yeah. I like hearing it, but I don't use it because I'm a guy.
You don't say pull up bitch.
I censor some of my words. I'm very sensitive.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Unless it's just me and my girlfriend, and then she calls me like all kinds of stuff.
Oh, well, good for her. She sounds
Yeah.
fun.
She is. We have a lot of fun.
Love it. Love it. Oh, Gretchen said, I'll allow it. I mean, I've heard other judges say that, so I wasn't like, but yeah, that is another good one.
So Bev is a fountain of saying. She's got a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I love the chat. The chat's so fun. I
Yeah,
just
now we're
started,
all checking it
reading
out.
some of it.
Someone said I'm sensitive jelly. Oh, that was one of our moderators. She knows. I'm a
Oh,
sensitive jelly. Very sensitive.
that's sweet.
Not really. So let's get back to Keefe D.
Yeah.
He's trying to get out on bail or something, a bond, and he had
Yeah.
like shady money. What's going on with that? Do you know about that?
Yeah, so he at first they were like, "No, no, no. You cannot you will be in jail until your trial." And then they lowered his bond, and he got this guy who he had promised if he got out, he would do a documentary and an interview with him. So this guy posted a majority of the bail, and a bail bond company was going to post the rest. So at his trial or the hearing, I think it was it was July. I'm sorry, it was last month. He said, "Hey, I've got it. Let me out." And the judge was like, "Not so fast, honey. Like, you just want to get out so you can keep talking and profiting off of Tupac's death, and I'm not into that yet." So she hasn't really made a decision on whether or not he is. I mean, she kind of said no, but I'll think about it. But yeah, I don't think he's getting out before November because they don't want him yapping. They don't want. I just feel like if people also remember when he got arrested and they were searching his house, he was being taken out in cuffs like this, and he's bragging. He's like, I orchestrated, like, the most high profile hit, the most, and they're like, dude, shut up already. Like, he was still bragging about it. So I don't think he's getting out before his November 4th trial, but he's in poor health. I think he has cancer. I mean, he's 60 something. He's just not healthy. He's not doing great. So, yeah.
Do
I
you
don't
think they'll
feel bad,
try?
though.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad. I don't.
Do you think they'll try to call Suge Knight to testify?
I think they should. I really think they should. I mean, I don't know what he would say or do, or what, I'm sure they have to offer him something but who knows, or I don't know. I mean, I feel like this whole trial is going to be super interesting, and I'm hoping that the state comes out and has this crazy evidence that, they have not shared with us. I'm hoping that they have scoured through this security footage, because I think that it would be like a needle in a haystack to actually find footage of Keefe D, Orlando, or Paula Clemens in Vegas, from 20 something years ago. I think that would be super. Actually, no, God, it's like 30 years ago. What am I saying? Yeah, I think that would be super hard. But if they had that, that might be their case right there.
Yeah, I don't think Suge Knight will speak either. I just think he's going
Yeah.
to stick to like no snitching,
I mean, he yaps and snitches on his podcast nonstop. Like,
but
it's just
not to
like,
law enforcement.
yeah, no, that's true. But listen, if they call him
And
as a
even on
witness,
his podcast too, like if you notice, like
yeah,
I think it became for him, he was silent for so long on this shit.
yeah,
And everybody else talked. Everybody else like this, there's none of that like in the old days, no one would talk about shit. Now you see actual real gangsters who are in gangs right now doing social media, and like it's crazy like that, like, and
I
so
know.
like guys that were around with Suge 20, 30 years ago, they've all told their stories, and he's getting pissed off. So now he's, what they used to call dry snitching, but I still don't think he'll
The
talk to law
dry
enforcement.
snitching.
That's what they used to call it.
You're so
When you
gangster.
talk about when you're snitching, but you're not snitching directly to the police. That's like dry snitching. But like I still don't think he'll cooperate, especially in public, to law enforcement. I don't think so Suge will. I just think he's got that old
Mm.
school attitude.
Yeah, I mean, can you teach me more street words? I
I'm
think I'm
not
going
that
to use
street.
dry
I
snitching.
am
I'm
not
like,
that street. I just watch a lot of videos.
I love that though. I'm going to write that down.
Dry
Dry
snitching.
snitching.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like, it's another form of dry snitching. And like instead of telling like say you're a student, right?
Yeah.
And you had a teacher and you wanted to snitch to the teacher, but you didn't want to do it in front of the class, you might tell the son of the teacher in practice after school, knowing that they'll tell the teacher, and that's how you get, that's dry stitching. You didn't like go directly to, yeah.
Wait, I feel like, yeah, but that's still snitching, and
It
snitches
is.
end up in ditches.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah. There may be further, like, I don't know, definitions of dry snitching too. I may not be exactly correct on that. There may be like
so
even
did
more
you
definition.
did you see, this is super random and off topic, but there's been all these articles about, hey, you shouldn't raw dog on a plane, basically meaning like you shouldn't go, electronics free, all this stuff. And my mom was scrolling through something the other day and she's like, what's raw dogging? And my sister and I were like, why would they use that term? Why would they do that? I don't
I
like
don't know.
that.
That's a weird one. The whole thing is weird.
I know, totally
It's
weird.
like, you know what? Maybe people shouldn't be on their phones 24/7, but like, why do we have to take it to an extreme now?
Exactly, and call it raw dogging.
Yeah,
Can
especially
we
that
not?
term. I don't like it either.
Oh,
All these little TikTok things or whatever, and I just half the time my biggest issue is like you said, like a phrase like that, raw dog, and it's like I don't want to hear it.
I don't yeah,
It
I don't
sounds
like
so
it.
stupid.
Yep, makes me feel weird. I'm not really into it. And
Yeah.
someone says that's not what raw dog means to me either. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, now they're talking about what raw dogging really means in the chat.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Yeah, we didn't say that.
Yeah.
We're good.
Mhm.
YouTube, we're gonna keep YouTube censors on the feet tonight.
Yes.
So we're still
Definitely.
live on YouTube. They haven't knocked us out. But the other night there was Turtle Boy was live and they like instantly zapped him while he was live. I'm like, is someone like at YouTube actually watching this shit? Like,
Oh,
how would they know?
wow.
Yeah. It was, I
That's
thought like the
interesting.
bots took like an hour to see everything. And I don't
Sorry,
know.
I'm dying. Whoever Sherry, you're so funny. She brought up teabagging. Oh my god. Sorry. So why?
We're trying to have a PG show here, and
Why?
the chat is rated X. That's okay. That will not get us in trouble.
Whoever Sherry is, you're so funny. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You must
I like
Sherry, you
hot
must be
tea.
from
I do.
Boston.
I like hot tea.
Yeah,
Hot
yeah,
tea
yeah,
is good.
no. Okay, I'm done. Keeping
I
it
know.
clean.
We're having too much fun here.
Yeah, keeping it clean. Mm-mm.
So I feel like I'm missing more, on the P Diddy stuff.
Well, I mean, I can, we can go through some of these. I mean, listen, another lawsuit that stuck out to me besides Cassie's, obviously, April Lampros talked about his junk size. She actually described it as adolescently in width and length, which I thought was some great adjectives, adolescently and whatever else she used. But that lawsuit was really troubling. And then Lil Rod Jones, the producer, that was extremely troubling because that really depicted Diddy's closeted homosexuality, in which I definitely don't want to shame him for being a homosexual, because that doesn't matter.
No.
It's the fact that he would force these men who were not gay to do these things, in exchange for promising them careers and record deals and money, and that's not okay, and that's something that you should go to jail for. So Lil Rod Jones talks about how Diddy filmed him with another man and he woke up all disoriented in bed. And I believe him, and I want to say I believe everybody in all of these lawsuits. The one thing that I mentioned at the beginning that I'm a little conflicted about is this Tamiko Thomas. I think that if this woman has the wrong person, that's bad. That's not going to look great. Oh, you know what? What was really crazy and stupid is, I don't know if you saw this headline floating around or if anyone in the chat did, but there was a man who sued Diddy, basically saying that he ruined his drug cartel business in the city. He said basically he refused to traffic minors, and that Diddy basically slammed him to all of the drug runners and the drug suppliers in New York. And he's like, well, because of that, I don't have my business, my drug business anymore. And the judge was like, get the fuck out of here, and like tore it up. So
But
that
that
was a
was
stupid one.
crazy though, because this
Yeah.
guy was like part of the cartel. Like he
Yeah.
was like one of those, like, on that
Mhm.
level in
Mhm.
Miami. And he basically said that Sean P. Diddy Combs came to them and said, you guys must traffic girls, like get me some young underage girls, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I'll give you some drugs or vice versa. Like he was trying to
Mhm.
make deals.
Yeah. It's gross. And
And the
and
cartel people were like, no, we don't do children. We like the cartel has more ethics and morals. These people that like behead people
uh,
has more ethics and morals than Sean P. Diddy Combs. I
isn't
mean,
that
that's
sick? That's so sick. Yeah, they said no to minors. We're not doing that. And a lot of these girls, I mean, the Jane Does, they that don't want to um go out or come forward publicly because they were minors. They were 16. One of the young ladies was 16 years old when she met Harv Pierre, who is the former CEO of Bad Boy Records, and they met in Detroit. And he said, come with me on this private jet. I'll take you back to Diddy's in Jersey, and then in New York. And I mean, she was like maybe 16, 17, and she did. And she has to live with that decision every day of her life because her lawsuit. And I guess now that I'm thinking about it, every single lawsuit was just as bad as the next one. I think that Cassie sticks out to me the most, but these are disturbing. And if anyone wants some light reading, they're all public online. So
see, I read two of them. I read the Cassie one and then the producer, like that,
Lil
and it
Rod,
was
yeah.
enough. And I skipped through them because it was like pretty horrific, the stuff that you're reading. It's just like one thing after another, and it's
Ah,
like this is
and
just as bad as I expected.
And I think about this. So in college, or actually maybe I was just finished college, but I went to school in New York City. I never left. And one of my girlfriends worked at Calvin Klein, which owns Sean John. So one day and she's like super beautiful and blonde. And I used to work at this Yankee bar, and we had the Yankees come in, and Jason Giambi was like obsessed with her. Like she's gorgeous. So Diddy came in one day and he is asking her out. And so first he comes in and she's like, no, I'm good. And then she said that he like left, had his meeting, came back, and then, asked her again and was kind of forceful. And she's telling us this after, and this is like 2005, let's say. And I'm ashamed because me and my friends were like, what? Why would you not go out with him? Like, why would you not, whatever? And she's just like, ew, no. But God, now I think back, we would have been right next to her. Like it's like, you know what
She
I mean?
had some kind of radar.
Yeah,
I
stupid
mean, maybe if she
22-year-old.
had dealt with people like that before and just knew what the vibe.
I feel no, I think she's not into black guys like
Okay,
romantically.
maybe
I
that's
think that's
yeah,
what it was. I mean,
yeah,
she's not racist or anything, but
yeah.
she,
You have a preference.
yeah, she just like sexually, she was not attracted to him. So yeah. That's what she told us anyway, but I was like, "Who cares?" And now I'm ashamed.
Thank
Anyway,
God for her. Thank
yeah,
God
thank
for
God
her.
for her is all I'll say.
So I mean, celebrities,
Yeah.
like these white parties, a lot of celebrities there, and the freak offs. I mean, if people don't know what a freak off is, what do you think it is? You know, this guy
Yeah,
is known for having the white parties. You get all dressed up, and then in the next room, it's the freak off room. And
yeah.
he's basically what he was doing is, for people that don't know who haven't read the lawsuits, he was using people to courier drugs to these parties
Mhm.
and certain types of drugs.
Yeah.
And also big time, having people that would go out and hire local prostitutes
Mhm.
and local girls to, attractive girls to be at these parties and be the entertainment and dance and have sex with some of the VIPs there.
He would fly them in too, the prostitutes.
Yeah, he would.
There's
So
multiple
all
times.
over the
Yeah.
world, he was recruiting these prostitutes.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
and there's video cameras there. And I
Mhm.
just wonder if maybe that's why, another reason why Justin Bieber will probably never speak out, because he's like, he's got video of me. And I just wonder if some of these other big celebrities are shitting themselves because there's video of them doing awful things. Who knows? Like, and I just wonder, like Jay-Z, like what's up with him? He's silent. Nobody's saying shit. There's a lot of people that have been connected with P Diddy. Nobody is saying
Yeah.
anything about it right now. What do you think about that? Do you think it's because
Well,
they're worried about the videos, or they're worried about he may be found innocent, or what do you think it is?
yeah. So there's a couple things there. I mean, you're right. Not one celebrity has come forward saying, "No, Diddy's a great guy. Like he would never do that." Not one person. I did see Cuba Gooding Jr., who was mentioned in Lil Rod Jones's lawsuit. I saw him, I believe he did a Cuomo interview, and he said he's pretty much been blackballed from Hollywood. He cannot get work. This is not Cuba's first time being accused of sexual misconduct. So I've heard Cuba deny allegations with Diddy, but he said, "Did I party with him on his yacht? Yeah, I did. Did I hang out with him? Yeah. Did I come on to this young man, Lil Rod Jones? Like, no, I didn't." I don't really know what to believe. I interviewed Cuba at the premiere of Rocket Man, that Elton John movie. I really liked him. I thought he was lovely, but you don't really know anybody, right? Like you don't
Right, you
actually
don't.
know anyone. The Jay-Z thing is interesting. I've been waiting for that shoe to drop. I think Jay-Z is walking around like he is untouchable. I mean, my husband, he was at the Fanatics thing last weekend because he works with that company or whatever. And he saw Jay-Z like with this huge entourage, people just clear the floor for him to walk by. And it's just like, who do you think you are? Like, I feel like you're going down too at some point.
Yeah, don't you feel it?
I do. And that Tamiko Johnson or Thomas, the one that claims it's not her, the real Tamiko, whatever. I looked through her Instagram for a really long time. I went through the whole thing. It took longer than I'd like to admit. To look for a picture of her and Diddy before she kept saying, you've got the wrong girl. She had like all these pictures of Jay-Z. Like, I thought that was interesting where I'm like, there's definitely got to be a connection here somewhere, but we'll see. We'll see.
You know who's calling Jay out too about being silent is 50 Cent.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be making a Netflix series on this. What do you think about all that?
I'm very excited. I love 50 Cent. He is a different level of petty that I appreciate very much. I mean, it is like I I wish that he didn't delete all of his posts, but I think it's important to note that he's been roasting 50 Cent Diddy for years. If you recall, Diddy's son played football for UCLA, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but he sat on the bench or he wasn't being played, and Diddy went to the coach of UCLA and apparently threw like weights, like barbells at him or something, and he literally was charged with like a misdemeanor or something like that. And 50 Cent went on Conan O'Brien just absolutely ripping him. I mean, what did he made some joke, like, I can't even remember. It was a play on like All About the I can't remember exactly what it was. It was a meme and I was screaming. It was so funny. I'd have to find it, but it was good. It was
Yeah,
good.
I think 50 Cent is so good at this shit, like in noticing stuff that like a lot of us, it's like right in your face, that stuff that we've all seen. It's right in your face. And then 50 Cent says one thing. And one of the things he said about Puff Daddy is he's like, yeah, the dude was trying to make up with me, like we're all good, and he wanted to take me out shopping.
Yeah.
You want to, and 50's like, you ain't taking me out shopping. Like I ain't like some young girl you're gonna take out shopping. Like he just points it out. Like this is how P. Diddy grooms people. I mean, that whole I'm gonna take you out shopping. A grown man doesn't say that to other grown men. You don't say that. Like the only person that ever did that in my life was like my grandmother. She was taking me out shopping. That's like a normal, but a grown man. So like I love 50 Cent, and it's funny. Like I think it goes back with 50 Cent so far back. I look at it like I brought up the locks tonight and Styles P.
Yeah.
I didn't know the reason I found out about Styles P and the reason why I got Styles P to play my event for free was because of 50 Cent and P. Diddy.
Really?
Yeah, because P Diddy, 50 Cent was trying to recruit the Locks and Styles P because he didn't like P Diddy.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he paid for all that. His unit, G Unit, paid
Wow.
for basically Styles because they sent him to like Styles likes weed. So they sent him to
Right,
the biggest
right.
weed fest they could find, which was mine. And they
Oh my
flew him in.
God.
They were trying to recruit him. And so
That's
I had no idea what the hell. I couldn't figure it out until I like it's so funny because I pieced it together after. I had no idea who
it.
friggin'
It
who
makes
he even
sense.
was when they
No, it
called me. But I was
totally
like,
makes sense.
when 50 Cent's crew calls you and you're
Mhm.
hosting an event the next day, you take the call. And it
Yeah.
was awesome. I mean, they hooked me up. It was amazing. But
Yep.
it
No,
goes back. This was decades ago. So it goes back that far.
definitely. And like, you said, he mentioned that whole thing about shopping a long time ago. And I thought that was, 50 Cent hinted like that was him being gay. I'm just saying, like he was kind of saying like he's hitting on me and I just
And
don't.
grooming,
And
and
grooming.
also pointing out the grooming technique
Yeah.
because this is what this is the grooming. I mean, it's pretty when you think about it. And I think it's also like education to people out there. Like
Yeah.
when someone's being too nice,
Hmm.
especially in this Hollywood, music business stuff, young
Yeah.
people beware. If
Yeah.
it's too good to be true, it probably is.
And it probably is. I mean, I just pulled up. So I forgot, like, I've written about Suge, I've written about 50 and Diddy, I've written about all these relationships. And so 50 Cent, I'm just being reminded, he wrote a diss track in 2006 called The Bomb. And he just alleges that 50 or that Diddy knows all about who killed Biggie and he's not saying anything. And the lyrics, they say, "Who shot Biggie Smalls? We don't get him. They gonna kill us all. Man, Puffy know who hit that. Man, that soft. He scared them boys from the west side. Will break him off, dump on his ass. So we run to Harlem, shake him off." So I thought that was pretty telling. We don't really talk about that, the 2006 diss track. And then 50 Cent posted a freestyle video that Mace did in 2023, I think in like Atlantic City, where Mace, who we all knew as like Diddy's, right hand, his boy, freestyled dissing Diddy. That was kind of a turning point too. So I was like, whoa, that's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
And I
That's a
expect
lot.
more. Yeah, I
God,
expect more to come out because the guy changed his name to Brother Love
my
before some
gosh.
of these
Yeah.
allegations started really coming out, right before the Cassie stuff came out. And he started like he did relent. Like the Locks were the first ones to get any type of win, like any
Mhm.
kind of concession from P. Diddy. Like even though he gave him that concession years ago, he still didn't give him back everything until apparently this year. Like this year, P. Diddy's actually started to give some of these artists that he ripped off some of their, power back over their own music. Like he owns everything of theirs and they never get paid.
Yep.
So
Yep. No, and it's crazy. Like I feel like I definitely Diddy had some bangers. Okay. I mean, I have like a playlist I was listening to in the car, and I'm not even talking about like from the 90s. I just mean like uh what was that one? Last night, couldn't even get an answer. That one. I was like, wait, I can't even listen to this anymore. I feel like I can't even do it. Like I
yeah.
can't separate it. I mean, it's actually sad. I somehow can separate R. Kelly, which is horrible. He's horrible, but I still jam out to R. Kelly, and I feel bad about that. So
Yeah, I've never really liked R. Kelly, but the one that's come up for me is the Biggie stuff because there's a
mm,
lot of Sean Puffy Combs in the background, and it just I feel
yeah,
the same way. I'm like, listen to him, like, oh God.
yeah. Oh, I know, I
What
know.
used to
It's
be
horrible.
acceptable, like it just has
Yeah.
a new feeling to it, a new meaning. Like it's like, oh, sh-
Oh, and my husband was playing I think it was the Rick Ross song, the lyrics that she didn't even know it. That one where he's like basically talking about raping her and he's like, she didn't even know it. And I was like, oh my gosh, those lyrics are so bad. That's so bad. And we all were singing to that, whatever it was, 2010, or I don't even remember. But yeah, not good. Not a good look for any of us.
So what I wonder, P Diddy had a huge settlement against Cassie.
Mm,
And that's when kind of like everyone's like, wow, like
yeah,
because she sued like the next day
settled.
he like settled this huge settlement,
Mhm,
and then all these other lawsuits have come out.
mhm.
He's not going to settle those. He's just going to fight him now, right? What do you think? I mean,
Yeah, some of these women are demanding a jury trial. They don't want a settlement. They literally want to take him to court, which I think is amazing. He has filed opposing motions to some, not all. He's tried to get a few of them dismissed, which hasn't worked. One of them um is kind of up in the air. The judge had ruled that if the woman wants to move forward with this, that she'll have to say her name and she can't be Jane Doe. She was arguing this based on, I think, one of the I think it was a Kevin Spacey lawsuit, basically saying, well, he was a minor, but we forced him to come forward and say his name, so you have to do so too. So, I think that Diddy, in paying Cassie, that was a sign of his guilt. Absolutely. And even though his
absolutely.
lawyers have said, no, it means nothing, let's also not forget Diddy has like 3 or 4 different attorneys on retainer right now. Why do you need so many? Right? Like, why do you need so many? Oh, I know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bad news.
There's
Bad
no
news.
there's no way a guy like him settled a lawsuit like that for major money. Like major it took a big piece of his net worth. Like I'd say like even 10%. Like that's a huge chunk when he has so much
Yeah.
money. That's a big piece of pie there. And
Yeah. And
also like the reputational harm because of who he is and all the money he's invested. Like he lost major business opportunities the moment he signed that because people are like, wow, you're radioactive, you're done. Like you need to leave our board of directors. You need to not be a part of our business venture. Like that's as soon as he signed that, and he knew that
yeah.
was going to happen. So that's a huge sign of guilt, no matter what his lawyers say. Um,
Oh, yeah. No,
do you know where?
totally.
Yeah. Do you know where any of these lawsuits will be heard? Is it like Miami? Are they going to be all over the
No, it's
country? I'm
they're
just
New York. I
New
mean, these
York.
are most of them, I believe almost all of them are filed in New York, and I think that's strategic. So, and because
Why do you think? Why do you say that?
because that's where the grand jury is. That's what I have
The
read
federal
and
grand
what I have
jury.
reported on is that the grand jury is going to convene in New York because that's where his I believe his office was in Jersey, or he had a big mansion in Jersey. So he spent most of his time in New York during the 90s and 2000s when a lot of these incidents allegedly occurred. So that's definitely
Think it's
what-
going to be the Manhattan District Attorney's office? I wonder.
yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
that's
and
like the number one because that's where Bettero is from, and he tells us it's the number one where they do major like organized crime. I wonder if they're going to treat it like it's a RICO case. I wonder.
well, I mean, the most recent lawsuit is connected to Rico. Absolutely. So it's gonna be interesting. I mean, to see what I guess it's kind of like I don't know if, and we none of us know if they have enough to charge him federally for these human trafficking crimes. I mean, there have been parallels between Jeffrey Epstein and Diddy, are saying like, yeah, he's the Epstein of the music industry. I don't, but again, we don't know. This is all alleged at this point. I just have to think that it's coming sooner than later. They just are building an airtight case. He
And now
needs.
there was one of his associates was arrested for drugs, right? One of the couriers.
Yeah, yeah. It was in Miami or something like that a while ago, and he was one of Diddy's suppliers, I guess. I didn't really think much of that, but it was around the time of the raid. So it kind of got swept under that news, I think.
I'm wondering if like because it's been a while since that happened. I just wonder if he's cooperating or that guy, or if Diddy's paying for his lawyer and he's going to try to fight the drug charges.
I don't think Diddy's probably paying for it. I mean, Diddy's LA mansion is up for sale for $70 million. I think he's kind of hard up. I think if you notice, he deleted his Instagram. There's 2 pictures on there. It's like one of his older daughter and one of his younger daughter. I think after his stupid apology, whatever you want to call that, and it's just crazy. Like Scott Peterson, Diddy, they think that they're just so narcissistic. They think if they come out and they're like, oh yeah, if people hear me apologize, like they're gonna, they're gonna believe me. I'm just like, I'm such a good guy. Well, that was worse for him. That apology was so gross. I mean, he was just not sorry. He was so distant from everything he said. I mean, I'm sorry for my actions in that video. He didn't even say I'm sorry. He actually didn't even say that. He just kind of said like, what did he say? He definitely said for that video or for my actions in that
Yeah.
video, but he said kind of like, you think about the darkest times in your life. Like, this is about you, man. This is not about us. Like, own it. He didn't even own it. He's gross. Ugh.
He is. He
Yeah.
is totally
Mm.
needs a lot of help.
Yeah, and he said, I had to go to rehab. I had to ask God for forgiveness. You had to?
Yeah,
Really? You
God.
had to? You didn't want to? My God. Like, yeah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I wonder how this is gonna go. Like, when might we see some action, criminal charges, and it could be.
Mm.
I mean, it could be years, right?
What's that?
It could be like another year or 2 years before the feds
Yeah,
would
I
even do
mean, I
anything.
don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a year. I don't think it's gonna be a year. Definitely not. Definitely not. Sorry, why bring Scott Peterson into this? None of us knows what happened during this trial. It wasn't on TV. Well, I'm actually talking about his interview with Diane Sawyer and his interview on the Peacock documentary. He thought if he came forward that he would win the heart of Americans and he would really convince us that he was innocent. I'm aware the trial wasn't on TV.
Yeah, I mean, he was. I think that what brought that guy down was the girlfriend, right?
Oh yeah, and his disgusting lies. I mean, like
Yeah.
I said,
And what he was
Diane
saying, I
Sawyer
know,
interview.
right? I mean, that's just the sickest shit when you see like him in real life and what he's sending in the text. I mean, that was just, yeah, this
Oh my
guy's fucking
gosh.
cooked.
I know. And it's crazy because it's like he sat there with Diane Sawyer and we discussed this on our live show last night. But I mean, he's like, yeah, no, I told Lacey about Amber Fry. Like, oh, cool. Then you went fishing an hour and a half away. You're like, oh yeah, babe, I have a girlfriend. You're 8.5 months pregnant. Cool, bye. Like, and she was totally fine about it. That's weird. Okay. Yeah. Nope. Nope, you shot yourself in the foot. Oh yeah, then he lied and said he told police. She's like, did you tell police right away? He's like, yes, I told them immediately. No, you didn't. I mean, yeah.
You know, I think a lot of these people, especially Sean Puffy, he got away with it for so long.
I know.
It's shocking that because I think so many of these people in the music industry and Hollywood, they were aware of it. Like they knew about this.
Yeah. How could you not? Right? How could you not know about it? And I'm sure people like even Paris Hilton who partied with him, and said, oh, she's quoted in Vibe magazine being like, I love Diddy's parties. He makes everyone feel so included, like blah, 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 and you're just like, oh, Paris, that sucks. But you can't blame her because that's what the 2000s were. They were all about parties and celebrities and Us Weekly magazine. And that's not what it's like now in 2024. Oh, I love Carrie True Crime. Hi, Carrie. Sorry, I'm like talking to your
You
chat.
love the chat. There's also like an element too in Hollywood, like this yachting thing. Like some of the
Yeah.
rumor magazines or the rumor websites now, they
Mhm.
kind of report on, which I find very interesting, that it seems like there is like a high end, between these Arab sheiks and some of the richest people in the world,
Yeah.
which is the Western world, a lot of times with these yachts and some of the stuff that goes on just offshore with
Mhm.
some of these celebrities. It's truly shocking. Like when you like,
Yeah.
it's not Pizzagate. Like it's hard to touch this stuff because then people go into the crazy stuff, the
Mhm.
Pizzagate stuff that's not true. But there's like real shit that people aren't talking about, which is like this P Diddy thing that has been an
Yeah.
open secret for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get, I guess, too far into a rabbit hole, but it's a lot of it is about money and a lot of it. And right now we've got the DNC going on and I don't know if anyone really watches Cuomo. And I saw this clip. I didn't watch Cuomo, like his full show, but he's like, I'm at the DNC. He said, and there's suites, and he pointed to these suites up top that are very small. And he said, News Nation, we're not a broke company. We're on the floor. Those suites, they start at 500 grand, those suites. It's not the teachers union up there. It's not the Cub Scouts of America. It is the
Billionaire.
It is yeah, exactly. And so
their rules are so much different. They live by a different.
Yeah, it's a little freaky to me. It really is. So while I agree with you, maybe Pizzagate isn't real, there are aspects of it, Mike, that are real. And
Absolutely.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I swear
I'm
to you,
not either.
I'm not.
I'm all reality based. I think we need all to be more check ourselves and don't get stuck on stuff and go with facts. And
I'm not saying James Alefantis is is
Yeah,
Lord.
no.
I'm not even going there, but
Yeah.
there's aspects of certain things and you can take that for what you will with these.
I mean, the
sweet
casting couch
love.
is a real thing in Hollywood.
What is it?
The casting couch is a real thing in Hollywood. Like that's not a Pizzagate or conspiracy theory. Like it just don't like not every job is a casting couch in Hollywood, but a certain percentage of them have always been that way. And I mean, it's starting to change. You're starting to see, I mean, that it was even like that with professional wrestling. Back in the day, it was gay men who booked the thing and they did that to the wrestlers.
No way.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking way back, but that was a thing. And then not in every wrestling promotion, but a lot of them. So
I didn't know that.
There's always been elements, especially in the entertainment business, because like you said, you can offer them the difference between having nothing and being in a movie.
Yeah.
What will you do to get to be in that movie?
Yeah, that's really sad. I didn't realize that about the wrestling thing. That's super interesting. Somebody should do a documentary on that. It's not funny, sorry, but it is kind of fascinating if that actually happened.
And there's been all kinds of rackets in the entertainment business. I mean, the mafia had a good control over some of it, and that was almost in a response to other types of mafias. You know what I mean? Like new mafias come up sometimes to protect people from the old mafias. You know what I mean? Like the whatever you call it. Like there's always little gangs of groups.
It's funny because I feel like the Italian mafia at this point is, I don't know how to say this without coming across terrible, but they've been made to look like kittens almost with the emergence of Hamas and other groups like that. I mean, it's like the Italian mafia, they live for family, right? It's like the Godfather, family is everything and this and that. And it's almost like the mafia doesn't, I don't want to say they don't kill innocent people because they probably do and they probably have, but for the most part, they know who they're going after and they're not going after the families, let's say, like some of these people are. And that I'm not saying they're good or bad. I'm just saying over the years, these certain groups have come out and they've made the mafia look good almost, if that
No, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reality too, like in any type of gang culture, that a lot of times when you lock up the kingpins, for instance, like especially the street gangs, if you lock up the guys who have been leading everything, and let's say they're in their 30s, these guys are experienced gangsters, right? And you lock them all up, and you leave the 17-year-olds to run everything for the next 5 years. Guess what? It's going to get more violent. Because those 17-year-olds don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? They don't have limits. The 30-year-old is, so there's always, and especially in gangs, like in culture, and it can totally change. So
Yep. No, I agreed. I just think, God, there's so many horrible things going on. And I just think that the mafia used to be so feared. And now I'm like, I'm scared of Hamas.
Yeah, the mafia mostly has gone legitimate, or
I mean, I don't know.
They're making a lot of money on doing their podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm watching Sammy the Bull and Michael, Franceschi. These guys are great storytellers. Like, so I think a lot of the Italian mobsters, they get out of jail and they do a podcast and they make their money doing that and call it a day. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a different world now. There's different groups and
totally. And I'm not,
it's like Irish too. Like Irish, we assimilated. You know what I mean? Once you can become a cop or a school teacher, you don't need to be a gangster.
Yeah, no, and I wasn't trying to glorify it at all. I just want to put that out there. I was not trying to. I
No, you
just was
weren't.
like, wow, things have
It's true
changed.
though. It's I mean,
Yeah.
the Italian mafia was so strong at one
Mhm.
point. There was almost like an order to it,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. And they
Mhm.
like there was actually some rules. Like the rules have gone out of the game. And you know what brought them down was the rulelessness. Like when everyone like with the Italian Irish mafia especially, no one snitched.
Yeah.
But as
Right.
soon as the federal government got the microphones and people did start snitching, then it was
Mhm.
over. Like so, you know.
Yeah. No, it's funny now too because the mafia guys, I guess, in the city, Rudy Giuliani put most of them away. But now I've heard a lot of these guys in these circles, they're like, man, what we would do for Giuliani to be mayor again. It's just really funny how it's like full circle, you know?
Yeah, he might be going to jail though, too, right?
I,
He's done some like mafia like things, like
yeah, I don't
Giuliani.
see that happening. I don't
Uh,
know. I mean, I feel like he'll be okay, but I don't
I
know.
think he got married too many times and divorced. He's got those money problems, it seemed like.
Yeah, I mean his last wife, yeah, it has taken him for a lot, but not as much as the two women in Georgia are taking him for.
Oh, yeah, true. That too.
Yeah.
He's so I guess any final thoughts tonight on any of this stuff, with especially like Sean P. Diddy Combs. They say right there Combs.
You
Combs.
said
Combs.
Combs.
I keep saying Combs. Just call him
Yeah,
P. Diddy, Puffy, Puff Daddy, Puff
Puffy.
Daddy.
Yes, we can just call him Puffy. I mean, like I said, I'm just waiting here. I really think it'll be sooner than later before he is indicted. I really, really do. I'm very hopeful. So, yeah, let's wait and see. We can reconnect on this when this happens,
I would
but
love to connect when he
yeah,
gets indicted. We could talk, have you back on and talk more about it.
yeah, definitely,
And,
definitely.
and also maybe even the November trial for Keefe Davis. That's going to be great.
D.
Keith Davis, Keefe D.
Dwayne Davis, his name
Oh,
is, yeah.
Dwayne. I thought it was
Mhm.
Keith. Where'd I get that one? I don't know.
I think it's Dwayne Keith Davis.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but,
That's why they call him Keefe D, though. It's the Keith.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate
Dwayne
saying that name. I feel weird.
Keefe D.
Yeah, it sounds so weird. I don't know.
It is. The nicknames are funny, though.
Mike, I feel like I talk too much. I'm sorry. I
No,
feel
you
like
don't. You're perfect. I
okay.
felt like I talked too much tonight. So
You
you,
what?
you you're easy to talk. I felt like I talked too much tonight.
No, I feel like I cut you off and I talk too much
No,
and
you
I
don't. You don't cut me off at
okay.
all. You're great.
All right.
This was fun.
It was fun. Oh my gosh, it really was fun. Thank you for
I
having
can't wait to see what happens with, P. Diddy. I want to see some justice for the victims.
me too. It cannot come soon enough. Oh my gosh.
So keep me up there. Like I'm going to be following you. Where can people follow you and all that so that if they want more updates? I know you're on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. My handle's at Conlin_Lauren. Just don't find any fat pictures of me and post them and make fun of me. Thank you so much. And then you can find me on YouTube at Pop Crime TV. And then I have another show on Wednesday nights, which is at Primetime Crime Show on YouTube. Oh, thank you so much. I think your moderators posted my link tree
That's
because
what
I
I'm
just
looking for. I want to make sure that we're
yeah,
pinning that in the
yeah,
chat.
that was so nice. Thank you. And I have my podcast on YouTube and obviously on every uh audio platform there is. So thank you so much.
And I'm trying to pin that right now in the chat. So if Jen just posted it and I just pinned it, you have Lauren's link tree. So make sure you hit the
Thank you.
link tree and follow her everywhere, people.
Thank
Please.
you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really do.
Awesome. I thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully, we'll have some indictments. I want to see some indictments against P. Diddy, whether, hopefully criminal, but I would love to see some progress on those civil suits too, to see some people like really take
Me
them to
too.
school on that, get them to
Me too.
trial.
Yep. Well, we'll see. Thanks, Mike, for having me. Hopefully we can do this again sooner than later because there will be some charges.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you. So do I just leave? Is that
No,
cool?
I'll get you out of here. You're
Oh, okay.
perfect. Thank you, Lauren Conlin. Have a great day.
Thanks.
And we're the Young Jerks. I want to thank everyone who's been watching tonight. I want to thank Kylo Bear. He's very generous. He only sent $1.99, but last night he dropped the 50 new subs. That was amazing. Thank you so much for doing that last night, Kylo Bear. Very generous of you. Also, Stephanie, she says, cheers to our jerks. She's also a moderator. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And Sherry D, $5. She said, you both have been perfect. Yes, I think we were both perfect. I think that was fun. That was a fun conversation tonight. I'm just going to check the Cash App and all that. I don't know when our next show will be. I have no clue, actually. Someone just asked. We were supposed to do something on Sunday night, but because of Helena Rafferty, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Helena Rafferty is still effing with the Canton Nine. We're going to have more of the Canton Nine on Sunday night, but Helena Rafferty has indicated she's going to try to press charges against them again. The Canton police chief. So we will not be having the Canton Nine on Sunday night because it's, it's just not a smart thing to do right now for them. So I don't know. I don't know when our next show will be. Yeah, as Mazda Media says, Rafferty is insane. Patches O'Houlihan. O'Houlihan. I like that name. Patches has been around for a while. Member for 2 months. They say Mike is Nardwar Jr. with his hip hop knowledge. You know what I love is when Nardwar interviewed Nirvana. Holy shit. Nardwar. They say the name Nardwar. He is funny. Those big ass glasses he's got. Yeah, please, everyone who's listening, hit like and subscribe if you haven't. You know what? I should have asked if there were any questions tonight. I'm sure you guys probably had some questions. Well, next time Lauren's on, we'll ask some questions. All right, everyone. I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. We'll see you soon. Have a great night. Young Jurks checking out.